Hi guys, it's Ethan. I'm here today with session number 1 of my 6-part session on valuing yourself. I announced this on my story about a week and a half ago, and I've been super excited preparing my notes and preparing the things that I want to share with you guys through this online help session. So I'm just going to start in with a brief introduction of myself, and then we're going to move on to an outline of what the program is going to entail and what you guys can expect to get from it. So my name is Ethan Biller. I live and I work in Jeju, South Korea as an English teacher. And I love being a teacher. I love being able to reach kids. But my true passion in life, my true drive is to help people on a full-time scale. I just love to help people manage or learn how to manage their own desires and learn how to manage their own values and work all of these things into their path to success. And that's really what my passion is helping people realize who they are and how they can get to be where they want to be in life. So that's a little bit about me and where I am and what I do. And this program, what are we gonna do in this program? So this program, my main goal for this program is that you would walk away from this set of videos feeling completely and utterly transformed in your idealisms of how you view your self-worth, how much you think you're worth as a person, as an employee, as a worker, all of these things. What you think you're worth, I want to change that. Unless you have a great view, in which case, feel free to think the same way you already are. But I think that some of the things I'm going to share here might be surprising to some of you. So my main goal is that you guys would have a transformed view of how you view your self-worth and how you view yourself. So that's the main goal. What is the outline of this program? Like I said, there's going to be 6 sessions, and each of these sessions are going to be live. They're going to be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. Some of them might be shorter, some of them might be longer. I'm actually teaching this online session in between classes at my academy. So if my voice sounds a little bit echoey, that's because I'm in a classroom right now. Maybe next time I'll have to bring the AirPods. So I'll check the audio later. So yeah, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. There's going to be a total of 6 sessions, and what we're going to do is we're going to work through all the steps that I have set out, maybe 3 or 4 major steps, and how to follow up with on those. And these steps will show you how to look at worth in itself, how to look at yourself honestly, and how to make an accurate kind of grading system to value yourself, okay? And I'll give you a little sneak peek. There is no grading system because you are perfect. So that being said, we're going to work through this stuff, and I'm just going to kind of just talk with you guys. I'm going to bring up some questions maybe that people hit me up after I post these videos. So yeah, the sessions are going to be a little bit different in nature. I'm sure that this first session is going to look a lot different than the last session, but I'm super excited, guys. So without any further ado, let's jump in and start learning. So worth. What does this mean? Worth has a lot of different means. A lot of different definitions in life. A lot of different things have worth. I want to bring up just a few different objects here, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how each of these things has a different worth. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is my car keys. Okay, I have an old, what is it? It's a Chevy. It's called a Windstorm in Korea. I don't know what it's called anywhere else in the world, but it's a mid-sized US SUV made in 2007, so quite old. I have a coin. I'm going to see if you guys can see this. It's a 100 coin here in Korea. This is called a baegwon, 100 won. And then I have a package of Ritz crackers that my student gave me, okay? With these 3 objects, I'm going to explain to you very simply the concept of worth. So my car is worth only as much as someone else is willing to pay for it. True or not true? Not exactly true, right? Because my car might be worth more to me because I have some sentimental attachment to it, or because it can take me somewhere quicker than using a bus or, say, using a taxi. So my car is not a set definition of worth. My car has a varying definition of worth depending on how well it starts up, how fast it drives, and all of this stuff. Hi, Angie. This has a set worth because a coin is only worth as much as the government regulates that it's worth. So, for example, this baegwon is worth a certain amount of gold in old-fashioned days, but nowadays we don't do gold-backed money. So this baegwon, this 100 won, is worth a set amount of money all around the world, right? We can take this baegwon and we can translate it or convert it into American money or Japanese money or whatever it may be. This Ritz, does this Ritz have a set worth? I would disagree with that statement because this Ritz is possibly worth more to people in impoverished countries than it does to people who live in not so impoverished countries. For example, someone in America would maybe look at a package of Ritz crackers and think, I'm not interested in that because maybe I have it in my house, or if I want it, I can go to a gas station and buy that. Whereas someone living in a impoverished land or someone living in a poor section of a rich, like a rich city, for example, if Seoul has a lot of homeless people, maybe they would look at this Ritz crackers and they would value it differently than we do. So value and worth, which are essentially the same thing, are directly related to the perspective of the person who's valuing that thing. What does this mean about us? In case you haven't guessed it, your value and your worth is being defined by people around you every single day. People you're in relationships with are valuing you according to their own set of standards for how they value people they're in relationships with, whether that's a romantic partner, whether that's your family, or whether that's your friend. Your boss, your company, that's kind of Korean, right? Your boss or your workplace is valuing you according to how much work you put out, how productive you are, and how valuable your skill sets are. Are they rare? Are they very common? Do you work at McDonald's? Do you work at Microsoft? Whatever, right? You are being valued by people around you every single day. And you are looking at yourself in accordance to how these people are treating you. This is backwards. Because we are not looking at ourselves based on how we feel about ourselves or based on even the reality of what our situation is. We're looking at ourselves and we're valuing ourselves based off of how other people treat us. The reason this is so backwards is because those people only value us based on their own perspectives, their own life outlook, and however the heck they happen to be feeling that day, right? Like, for example, if I go out on the street and I meet someone who's having a bad day, maybe that guy doesn't value me. But if I judge myself based off of that interaction, and I value myself based only on this interaction, I'm only ever going to be worth as much as the people around me say that I'm worth. I'm only ever going to be worth that much. There's a limit on how much I'm worth. The people around me, they might not think I'm very valuable. So if they've set the bar down here, I can never move above that bar because I value myself based on what other people around me are treating me, how they're treating me, what they're saying to me, their attitudes towards me. Because the point here that I'm making is that we shouldn't value ourselves based off of what other people are, the way that other people are treating us. And this can also be seen in, popular people, famous managers, right? If you value yourself based off of the way that other people value you or other people treat you, you're always going to be stuck in that roof, right? There's always going to be a ceiling over you that you're never going to be able to pass. Because this is the way that other people value you, right here, and then this is you, and you can't break past it. You're always just going to be hitting that ceiling, and a lot of times you're going to be beneath it, right? So, I want you guys to think now personally in your life, right? I want you to think about, we're going to choose 3 people. We're going to choose a friend, right, a close friend. We're going to choose a family member, someone that's related to us, maybe a loved one. And we're going to choose a boss, right, or a coworker or a supervisor. We're going to talk about how these 3 people treat you, how these 3 people value you. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pick out 3 of my own, okay? I'm going to use, my friend. I won't say their name, but I have a friend. Okay, I'm going to think about that friend. I'm going to think about my wife, and I'm going to think about my boss. How did these 3 people treat me? Now, you got it? Okay. If you're thinking about these 3 people, I would give you $20 in a bet that these 3 people probably treat you pretty differently, right? I thought so. For example, my friend, sure, they like me. We've known each other for a long time, but it's not an everyday contact kind of thing. They don't call me in the morning, hey, how are you feeling today? Hey, are you doing your best? Hey, I saw you post something on Instagram and it looks like you were depressed, So a lot of times our friends, they love us, right? Maybe in some sense, they care about us in some sense, but it's not the same way as maybe someone that really loves us, right? So I'm going to talk about my wife now. My wife is someone who's very in tune to me, right? Me and my wife are both very in tune to each other. We're very good at reading people, both of us, in our humble opinions. And we are both people and we talk to each other a lot, right? We're just always talking to each other. We always talk to each other, hey, how are you feeling this morning? You know, did you sleep well? You know, how's it going for you? And when we talk to each other, we legitimately care about the other person's response. It's not just a small talk. It's not just elevator chat. You know, it's not just water cooler chat. It's not just, hey, how was your weekend? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm tired too. Let's get back to work. You know, it's not like that at all. This is actually caring about each other. We're discussing this, okay? Okay, that's number 2. And then number 3, how does your boss treat you, right? I'm gonna bet that if you're gonna fall into one of 2 categories. You're either a good worker or a bad worker, right? No, I'm just joking. But seriously, that being said, you're either a worker that's in demand or you're a worker that's not in demand. A worker that's not in demand, there's kind of a lot of those right now, especially because of the coronavirus, right? Thankfully, I fall into the category of people who are in demand, right? I'm an English teacher in South Korea. It's not that there's a short supply of this, but there is less now that coronavirus and COVID-19 has limited immigration into the country. So I'm definitely not in a position that I would be losing my job soon, right? I'll put it that way. So I'm a little more higher than a McDonald's employee, but I'm not exactly a lead software developer at a major tech firm, right? So my job is in a good position, right? That being said, how does my boss treat me? Impersonably, first of all. Secondly, does she give me everything I want? No, not everything. Does she pay me as much money as I wish she paid me? No, not at all. So, although my job is at a good place, and although my boss is a friendly person and a caring person within the scope of what she can care about, it's definitely not the same as my friend and not the same as my wife. So we have these 3 things, and I'm gonna ask you a question. When you take a peach, a banana, and a pineapple, and you mix them into a smoothie, you're not going to get a smoothie that tastes distinctly like one of those things. You're gonna get something that's all of those mixed together, right? Right, we can agree on this. So if we view our value as the same way, and these are our fruits, and we put it into our fruit smoothie, and we mix up our fruit smoothie, what do you think our value is going to taste like? It's going to look like, or taste like, the 3 ways that these people treat us, you know, and everyone else around us. These people just represent the people around us, mixed together into one, right? For people who truly love us, there's gonna be some love in there. For people who don't really care about us personally, there's gonna be people who don't care about us personally in there. For people who care about us personally but don't really check in on us all that much, they don't have a lot of real emotion in the relationship, that's also gonna be in there. So all of this mixed together is what your value looks like. Your value right now, the way that you value yourself, the way that you look at your worth, is not very clean. It's not very pure. These people, and no matter how well they treat you, they're never gonna treat you as well as you should be treating yourself, okay? So now I'm gonna ask you another question. If I take 3 bananas, or 3 strawberries, right? And let's say that this is my self-love. This is my confidence, and this is my belief in myself. If I take these 3 things, and I put them into a smoothie, and I mix it up, this smoothie is going to be 100% strawberry, right? If they were strawberries in my previous example. Or in other words, it's going to be 100% made up of my opinion of myself. Now, if we look at the smoothies in these different directions, we can see that we have 2 options. We have the first option, which was other people around us, their opinions of us, mixed together to make a beautiful fruity smoothie fruit blast of value of ourselves that's made up from all these different people. Or we have the pure smoothie that's made up of only our opinions of ourselves, our self-love, our self-confidence, and our belief in ourselves. So which of these smoothies do you think is going to have a better result? If you guessed that both of them are going to have comparable results, you're wrong. If you think that one of them is going to have a better result, you're also wrong. Because these 3 things, self-love, self-confidence, and self-belief, are habits, or building them rather is a habit, that not many people develop. So if you develop these 3 things, and you base your value off of these 3 things, your value is pretty much good to go, right? This is basically the entirety of the course that I'm gonna be teaching over the next month, is basically teaching you how to gain these 3 things, and how to put them into your value stew, to make yourself value yourself in the way that is the best for you and in the way that will lead you to the highest places in life. So, once more, I'm gonna just do a small recap, and I'm gonna try to use my whiteboard. It's why I love doing this in my classroom. So I'm gonna use a blue marker, and we're gonna talk about value system 1. Value system 1. Can you guys see that? Yeah, it's backwards, but whatever. Value system 1 comes from our friends. It comes from our loved ones. And I apologize that the video is backwards, but when I post it, I'll go ahead and swap it so that you guys can read what this says, okay? Loved ones. And the last one is our workplace, okay? Because it's not just our employers, it's also the people around us at our workplace, right? It's also our, our coworkers, it's the people that are around us and all that. In fact, I might even have to do some editing later, right? Now I'm gonna swap to this side, I'm gonna do value system 2, right? I'm gonna draw a line down here in red because I want you to guys remember that these are different things, okay? We have value system 2. Value system 2 comes from, you guys can still see, my self-love, okay? This is something that's gonna be cringy to talk to you guys about, I am aware, but self-love is very important, okay? I'm also gonna put a big my here, my self-confidence. I'm gonna dot in confidence. And the last one that we're gonna talk about is my self-love, my self-confidence, and my self-belief, okay? Belief in self. Right? So these are the things, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it there on the screen real quick so we can see. These things are the major differences between people that value themselves based on what they think about themselves and the people that value themselves based on what other people think about themselves, okay? Let me turn on the brightness on my lamp real quick because I think that it's hard to see because of that. There you go. We can see those. All right, and again, like I said, I will all reverse the video later so you guys can see. These things are the core differences between people that are valuing themselves based on them and people that are valuing themselves based on what people are around them say, all right? Now, these things are vital for us to work through, and we're going to be working through those in our upcoming video lessons. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to build habits in which we can actually successfully have each of these things powerful enough to actually give us the kind of power and the kind of form that we need in our value system and our worth system of ourselves, our personal view of worth, that we can use this to push ourselves to further success, okay guys? So in the upcoming videos, we're gonna go over things like habits. We're gonna go over things like, value systems. We're gonna talk about, oh, hi Suman. We're gonna talk about how to value ourselves and how to value our self-worth in a way that will just bring us so much more success and so much more happiness in our relationships and in our lives, okay? So thank you guys so much for talking with me today. Again, if you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up in the DMs. Feel free to leave a comment on this video when I post it, or feel free to contact me any other way that you can through email or phone or whatever it is. I'm always happy to chat with you guys, and I am super excited about this course. So I hope that you guys enjoyed lesson number 1, and I will see you guys next time on Friday. So see you guys then. Thank you so much for coming today. This was Ethan. I'm out.